Hello, welcome back. I know. What are they going to talk about tonight? I hope it's something good. Well, we're going to do once again Cody and Satori. Blowing all over the internet again. And guess what? The shit has hit the fan. And there's a lot of new hot stuff that has come out. It's getting quite interesting, and apparently all the debunkers are getting targeted. So who knows? We might be targeted sometime in the future. We'll see. But with that, first Gabriella's going to do her state facts. We'll have her go into what is happening, and then I'll pick up and throw in my own input in between. So, Cody and Satori.
All right.
In just a few minutes.
Yeah. A few minutes. All right. So the first state fact, is Deming, New Mexico is home to the Great American Duck Race, not to mention the Duck Parade and the Duck Royalty Pageant.
They like their ducks.
They must really like their ducks. To prove the residents of New York City and state that Brooklyn Bridge was safe in 1884, a showman and circus founder, P.T. Barnum, marched 21 elephants and 17 camels from one end to the other.
And this interesting way to prove that it's sound and safe.
And last but not least is Pepsi was invented in North Carolina by drugstore clerk Caleb Bradham. He originally gave it the less inspiring name of Brad's Drink.
And ironically, I believe, I don't know if it was invented there, but it was Coca-Cola was started in South Carolina.
That is true.
That is true.
You can look it up. You don't believe us?
Look it up.
Look it up.
Anything we say or do, look it up. If you doubt us, you call us out if we said something wrong. We're good with that. Call us out.
Yep, just call us out. We don't care. I gotta take my hair
But
down.
we do. We try to do our research before we do anything on here. I mean, sometimes we get a little off kilter with some of the things.
Just a little bit, but it usually blends into
somehow.
what we're about to say somehow.
Yeah,
so to get started, the owner of the Conjuring house decided to make a public post on, well, she did an interview first. I don't know with who.
I believe it was with a medium.
I think it was with a medium, but that was more recent. And then, literally like a few days ago, she made a Facebook post about this whole situation. So that's what we're going to get into today. And you better get your popcorn and your drinks ready because this shit's hot.
It is hot. And the quite interesting thing before she gets into it is a little food for thought. And correct me if I'm wrong. The owner of the Conjuring house came out with this statement, but all of this debunking and everything has nothing to do with the Conjuring house. I mean, yes, Cody and Satori work there, but it's not like all the debunkers are trying to debunk anything involving the Conjuring house itself, like saying, oh, there's no spirits there and this and all that. They're trying to debunk what Cody and Satori are claiming is their gift. So I don't shouldn't Cody and Satori be coming out and making a statement? And we'll get into that further, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that this is all around Cody and Satori. It has nothing to do with the owner of the Conjuring house or the Conjuring house itself. So, Gabriella, you can get into what just recent. Now, this is very, very recent, and a lot of the big people are getting targeted. Let's put it that way. Bad to the Bone has been targeted. Mythos has been targeted. Beardo's been targeted.
Many others.
Yes,
Many others.
The list goes on.
And technically the whole paranormal community has been targeted because of this post, in particular on Facebook.
So go ahead and say what's going on.
So the first thing that I want to get into is these are all quotes directly either from the post or from what she has said. So I have the interview, I have actual quotes of what she said from the interview and actual quotes in my little notebook here of what she said on the post. And if you want to see what the post itself says, type in Conjuring, the Conjuring House, and then it will say, this is, so you know I'm not lying.
And it's a big long statement. It's like several paragraphs long, and ironically, it's supposed to be like the owner is representing the Conjuring House, which is okay, but at the very end, even she had to hashtag Sam and Colby.
So it's on Facebook, and their name is The Conjuring House, and you'll see official response regarding the spirit communication method by Cody Desbians and Satori Hawes. That's like what the headliner is. So if you want to go and check out what the post is, it's very long and pretty much unnecessary. Go check it out. But I took quotes from it, and that's what we're going to discuss today. So the first one that I want to talk about is she said, "These slanderous ideas and the debunking videos have been produced by people who have never met..."
Slanderous lies, not ideas.
Yeah, I don't know why I said ideas. Why did I say that? Let's try this again. These are literally quotes, and I wrote them down, so why, I don't know. Anyways, "These slanderous lies and the debunking videos have been produced by people who have never met Cody and Satori, let alone have the privilege of experiencing their method." Okay, and? Like...
And again, why is the Conjuring House saying that? Why isn't Cody and Satori coming out and saying, hey, this is our method and we're not liking all these slanderous lies, which nobody's being slanderous and nobody's lying. What they're doing is debunking.
Yeah,
and they're showing actual video clips. They're actually statements that Cody or Satori said with their own mouth. Like,
even if let's say that we were there at the Conjuring House itself, and we were the lucky people to get picked to have this method happen. Let's say, whatever, that it's real, or that they're trying to convince us that it's real. We would be doing everything in our power right then and there to figure out if it was real or not, and we would call them out if we thought that it was a lie, or if the sound was coming from the same spot, and, you know, we would tell them. We're not just the people that are hiding behind a camera that would not tell you this straight face to your face. This is actual things that we would tell them if we were there.
And in being in the paranormal field ourselves, we've said this 1,000 times before, when we do our investigations, we try to debunk what we're doing before we come out, and we don't even come out and say, yeah, this is definitely paranormal activity, where they're like, hey, we can't explain this. It has to be a spirit. It has to be something that's not in the normal, what you would see normally, that can't be explained. But we try to debunk ourselves. So
this is the next one. It has to go along with the lines of the first one. It says, "Among the lies is the assertion that CNS have made a lot of money from their method. CNS has never taken any money from their method, nor were they paid one dime from the Sam and Colby 2023 TCH videos featuring their method in every episode." I don't think a single one of us debunkers or paranormal teams has said that they have made any money from these Sam and Colby videos, but the Conjuring House owner decided to bring that up as if they did, and it was like hush money to me. That's what it sounds
and the
like.
only thing that was ever brought up, and if you think about it, no, they're not saying, they're not getting money for doing what they're doing, but they work at the Conjuring House. Conjuring House, you have to sign a contract when you go in. The Conjuring House, especially since the new owner, I heard that the prices they're pretty steep. We looked at prices because we would like to do it one day, and the whole point is whether they said they're making any money or not, they work there. So every time a guest pays to go there, Cody and Satori is going to get money off of it because they work there. Other than anybody claiming that they make a lot of money off of it, not one person, and people that we mentioned earlier, not one of them said anything about any of them making money.
And this is some quotes from her interview. She said Cody and Satori are definitely on staff, meaning that they work there.
So that means they get paid.
They're getting paid. We will never publish who is when. I don't really know what that was supposed to mean or why I wrote it down, but
well, I know what that is. That's a part of a statement. That the first part of that goes, Cody and Satori works like every other weekend. They are.
It was like this whole.
Yeah,
thing.
but if you look in that, go back on that statement on there. The first part of it says that Cody and Satori, like, they alternate weekends for their staff. So when Cody and Satori there, they will never publish who's going to be there and when. That's where that statement is from. If you go back and read that big statement,
that's not on the statement. That's on the interview. But anyways,
no, that's on their big statement, I believe. Or
that's on the interview.
Okay, well, it might be on the interview. Okay,
it is. I wrote it down.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's what that was from.
Anyways, they said when they are on staff, they're not performing their method, which we don't have proof that when they are on staff, that they do that. But she contradicts herself right here when she says, she is very selective of who we want to collaborate with. And she also said they only do it organically by people they run into. They don't take bookings. We're not taking bookings for them. And they will not be doing the method for any guests that we have here. Now listen to this. This is on the very recent Facebook post. She said, while for the public, there are a few instances where we have allowed their method to be shared with guests. I have numerous hours of video footage from private sessions we have done since I purchased the property in May of 2022.
Yeah, so the new owner just took over a couple years ago.
So she just contradicted herself a lot in that statement, because she claims in the interview that she was doing with the medium that they will not be doing the method for any guests that they have. But right there, if you go on the Facebook post, it says that there has been some exceptions, meaning that they have accepted guests.
Or where they organically ran into.
Yeah, organically. I'm buying that. So that's all for the interview one. I don't have much on that because it was a very short interview.
Yeah, it was just a snippet.
And it was I didn't get to watch like the whole interview. I just took the clip. If you watch Bad to the Bone, which, hi girl!
Hey.
If you watch Bad to the Bone's recent video, she has this interview in her video itself, and she has that part in it. So you can watch that, and that's where I got it from, and I quoted it directly.
Well, the ones that we mentioned earlier, especially Bad to the Bone and Mythos, they got targeted pretty big time, and it was apparently the owner thinks that Cody and Satori is being bullied and lied about and being called scammers and all this line of stuff that, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And not once has anybody, if you're trying to debunk something, that's not bullying. That's trying to get them to say, hey, I'm not being 100% honest with my audience.
So this is this is more, and this is where she claims that us debunkers are what we're saying is illegal. So she said, there have been threats made, cyberbullying captured, and proof of your lies collected by many who have witnessed your actions. You are prudent to take notes that your slanderous claims and defaming lies are illegal. Now, I get the threatening part if there was any threatening going on besides actual people like making comments or whatever, but as far as I know, I have not seen a single video of us debunkers or paranormal people coming out and saying threats to Cody and Satori directly, or the Conjuring house owner herself.
But then again, like I said, even why is the owner of the Conjuring house coming out and speaking instead of Cody and Satori? All of this is this whole debunking thing. This whole topic is pertaining to Cody and Satori. Nobody is trying to debunk anything involving the Conjuring house itself. It's involving Cody and Satori, and they can make it simple. They can make it simple and they can make it easy. They can come out and they can say, okay, guys, you know, when they got confronted with, okay, why don't you take your shoes off? Oh no, I have a foot fetish. But then there's videos of her showing her feet and other stuff, and Cody saying, well, Satori jumping and said, I'm going to take credit for this method that we use. But then again, there's a video of Cody doing it way back before he even met Satori. Why don't they just come clean on that and say, hey, well, we lied. You know, Cody was doing this way back when, and he was even doing with some other woman, you know, this method. And, you know, yes, Satori has taken her shoes off before, but now that she got older, or she just changed her thoughts about it, she's not comfortable anymore with taking her shoes off. Why don't you just do that? Why are you still going and saying these things that people can look up? So if you call that debunking, well, it's more than that. It's you're presenting facts. You're showing actual videos. You're producing actual statements that they said. I mean, that's not threatening. That's not debunking. That's just it's facts. It goes with the territory. If you're going to be a legit person in the paranormal field, then you want everything that you do to come across to your viewers as like, hey, or it's like, I believe Beardo and, well, the three that we mentioned, Beardo, Bad to the Bone, and Mythos. Our goal as paranormal investigators are to try to find that perfect evidence that there is life after death, that there is a spirit world, that there's a spirit realm, that there's some type of paranormal activity that happens. Nobody has actually come through yet and had actual concrete proof, and that's why there's all these debunkers. There's stuff that all of us has gotten, and we know what we got, but there's going to be somebody out there saying, hey, I don't believe you. But if it was us and somebody says, hey, it's like the flashlight thing we brought up in our last episode. You know, Mythos doesn't believe in the flashlight method, and he has his own theory, which is 100% legit. He's correct. But we kind of debunked that on our behalf from what we could, because we explained how you could watch that beam, you know, and it would respond exactly to our questions perfectly, and we didn't have to wait several hours with no responses. We could put it up, ask a series of questions, get on off a couple of our videos. If you watch them, you're going to see that. But Cody and Satori will not do that. They just won't come out and say, hey.
Nope, and it's really getting sickening, especially all the people that they have lied to, and all the people that they supposedly haven't taken money from directly, even though they're getting paid to work at the Conjuring house. Like,
And I have a little news for the lady at the Conjuring house, and I'm not trying to bash, I'm not trying to be rude. Not every one of us that's on here that's debunking what Cody and Satori does gets money. We are new. We are newer. We've been doing this for a long time, but as far as our videos, we don't make one single red cent off
None
of our
them
videos.
are monetized.
And not only that, but we're actually offering prizes out, like gift cards and that, for our viewers just to thank them for watching our video. So where they're getting that everybody's making money or they're doing this just to make money, that's bull crap. And I'm truly offended that that was even brought up, because not everybody has that privilege to have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million subscribers and that, where they can actually start making money off of videos. So
yeah, I totally agree, and there are some people like us that just want the truth. We just want the truth to come out. That way this whole situation could just end. Because, frankly, it's getting annoying and it's getting irritating that they are still letting this go on for years and years and years, and having people believe that they were talking to their dead loved ones, and they're actually not, because they're just...
it'd be a different story like when the Project Fear crew was there and they brought up about who started the whole alphabet thing, and Satori came out and said it was me, and Cody says, yeah, I'll give you credit for that. And then they came out with the clip that somebody found showing that Cody was doing it way back. It'd been a different story if Cody said, oh my goodness, you know what, I totally forgot about doing that back then. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to deceive you or anything, but I just totally forgot all about that. I really wasn't into it, and I did it slightly different or whatever than what we're doing now, but I do apologize. But they're
even
not
then,
even,
it still wouldn't make any sense.
it wouldn't make it right.
Well, it wouldn't make it right, and it wouldn't make any sense, because this method is supposed to be only between the both of them.
Right.
And their energy connection.
But what I'm saying is, at least, I mean, there would have been some kind of like, hey, I forgot about that video. I didn't realize that I did it back then. But then again, even if he would have done that, next thing you know, there's another video that not only did he do it back then with some of his friends when he was very early in investigating, then they show him doing it with another woman, the same method. They're almost touching, but not quite like his and Satori's are, but doing it some more. So like, even then he wouldn't have been able to use that as an excuse, but you would have thought that he would have tried to say something. He didn't say nothing. He didn't try to cover anything up. He didn't try to make any like explanations. It was just like he was backed in a corner and he couldn't dig his way out. And then they wonder why they're being targeted. And again, all of this has nothing to do with money anyhow. I don't know where all this money stuff. I don't give a shit if they make $100, $200, $1,000 a pop, $10,000 a pop. That's not even the point. The point is, we as paranormal investigators are trying to debunk what they are doing, and we are coming up with concrete proof, facts, videos, statements saying something totally opposite than what they're saying. So where money is even in the picture, I don't even know why that was even ever brought up or an issue.
Which makes it even more suspicious.
So, yeah. So that shouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Back to the quotes. These are actually supposed to be like all together, but for some reason I separated them. I think it was so I could read it better.
But it's good to break it up like that. And it was a big long statement on there.
Yeah, I think it was so I could read it better, so if it was in sections as opposed to just one huge paragraph. So the first thing that she says is, to the paranormal community, many of you have dedicated yourselves to exploring locations in the hopes of capturing evidence of spiritual existence. Yes, we do. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Recognize that when you attack or refuse to support other members in our community, that you are also attacking yourselves and the evidence that you have captured in your investigations. How? Please explain, because I would like to know. Um, that's like, there's all this evidence coming out about Zach Bagans and his fake shit, and that he was a fraud this entire time. And even his co-stars are coming out and saying, yeah, he was actually he was actually kind of abusive to us because he would lock some of us in a room by ourselves and have us in this probably demonic place. Like, they're coming out and saying that he's bad. He's part of the paranormal community, but is that hurting any of us?
And the thing is Zach Bagans, for some godforsaken reason, is just as popular as what he ever was.
Yeah,
and people know
it.
He fakes it. If you don't believe that Zach Bagan doesn't fake half the shit, now I'm not saying that he doesn't catch stuff. Absolutely, I'm sure that he catches good EVPs, some concrete, fascinating stuff. But at the same time, he's Hollywoodizing it too. He's a showboat. He's a showman. He likes his attention. He loves his name being mentioned.
I'm sorry, but every time that you go on an investigation, you're not going to be like, oh my god, I have this overwhelming feeling of anger, or oh my god, I feel like I'm going to pass out, or, something on the order of, oh my god, I'm feeling some kind of way.
You can guarantee in his videos, something's going to happen to him. He's going to get a headache. He's going to get an overwhelming feeling. He's going to get pretty much almost possessed. His name is going to be called out. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? It said, did you hear that? It said Zach Bagans. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. It wants to talk to me. And this is like in every episode, and these people are buying it.
And to get off topic a little bit, I mean, it's still about Zach Bagans, but this whole thing is not really about Zach Bagans, so it is off topic. But in one of the episodes of Ghost Adventures, he claims that he never went down in the basement. Well, he was looking at one of his co-stars and was like, oh yeah, you gotta watch out for the syringes down there. So, if he was never in the basement, how would he have known that those syringes were put there?
And then ironically, he got pricked by something that felt like a needle, and it could have been...
Yeah. He ironically had a little, stab mark on his arm, claiming that oh my god, it must have been one of those syringes downstairs that he supposedly never knew about because he supposedly never went downstairs.
But then again, this all gets back. It does tie in with Cody and Satori. We're not saying that there's not incidences when they're together, and especially at the Conjuring house, which everybody that's gone there said, yeah, there's amazing things that go on in that house. So nobody's debunking anything that's going on in the house, and Cody and Satori probably has experienced stuff. They're both paranormal investigators. Satori learned a lot from her dad. But the fact is that Cody and Satori are doing stuff that has been so questionable and has been brought out into the light that they are deceiving their fans.
They're like Zach Bagans in that aspect of every single investigation that they go on. When they use their method, something ironically happens.
Every time. And it, ironically, amazingly, always in the Conjuring house.
That's
I just don't know. I just think, they are really, really, really popular now, especially considering all this is out. But do you really want to be popular because of negative stuff? Or do you want to come out and say, okay, guys, we're sorry. We are doing this. We're doing that. But we just wanted to get a little bit more recognized. We are legit. We can do this legitimately, but something. But there's all this proof coming out, and even now with this latest stuff that Gabriella just brought out, they're not coming out and making a statement. They're not coming out and making an interview. Conjuring house owner came out and said that why? It's not involving her. It's not involving the Conjuring house. Yeah, it's not. So why?
But getting back to more of her statement slash unnecessary words. um,
Basically, it is.
she said if Cody and Satori are frauds, and then she had to put in brackets, they are not. Why? What does that say about the EVP's thermal images or other evidence that you have documented?
That has nothing to do with anybody.
It has absolutely nothing to do with any
No.
other investigator. Nothing. But she had to put in brackets that they are not. That's a little weird.
Yeah, that one doesn't have anything to do with the other. One has to do with paranormal investigators, say like me or you, or even Project Fear going and investigating the place and getting shitload of EVPs and evidence.
So,
but the other one has to do what Cody and Satori
in
does.
her words, though, since we're all bullying her and threatening her and whatever, in her words, this is kind of threatening the entire paranormal community by saying this. Your evidence is much more suspect than the physical evidence that is heard by all when they have experienced the method by Cody and Satori. And then she also said, I ask you to consider the ramifications on our field by participating in destroying the reputation of people who are doing their honest best to capture authentic evidence. It hurts all of us.
But then didn't that just go and contradict the prior statement before that? So that doesn't make any sense.
She likes to contradict herself.
Those two statements are, that one is a total contradiction to the other one. It still boggles me that this statement was ever even made. And it sounds to me she doesn't want us to debunk them, but she's more or less trying to debunk us as paranormal investigators. And when I say us, I mean the paranormal investigating community, everybody. And she did seem to kind of target pretty popular people out there. And it kind of, she was talking about threats, well, saying that we can do legal action if it doesn't stop. Well, isn't that a threat? You know, hey, I'm threatening you for trying to debunk us. You know.
Yeah, she called out YouTubers that are talking about the situation, but has never threatened her in any way. But she kind of just threatened them. So, in her own words, they could take her to court and they could go to jail because it's illegal.
It was like what we watched Beardo. Love you, dude. I think you're awesome too. We were watching he was breaking down that whole statement, and like he said, like, how are you going to take anybody to court for legal action? Nobody has concrete evidence that paranormal activity exists. Yeah, we all have our evidence and we're happy with what we're found and we're pretty sure, you know, we caught something. But in the scientific, the paranormal aspect of it, nothing that anybody caught yet is concrete proof where a professional would come out and say, oh my God. Because I think there is somebody out there, and I have to do research, that said, if anybody can give me anything, concrete proof that a spirit exists or an alien or something like that exists, I will give you $1 million check. I'll write you up $1 million check immediately. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that did that. But the fact is nobody can do it. It would be amazing. It's going to be very interesting for the very first person that can come out and say, I caught this. Please try to debunk it. Because it doesn't matter how good your evidence is. We caught an apparition on Crybaby Bridge. We got a lot of very cool EVPs, but there's always going to be somebody down the line that says, oh, that's bullshit. That's their opinion. We know what we saw. We know what we caught. Same as the flashlight method. We know how it has worked for us. Mythos would debunk it. And God bless you, Mythos. That's your prerogative. And the way you explained it, I agree with you, but the way we explained it happened to us, we know what we saw and we know how it reacted and we know it wasn't that theory you had. So it's just the whole point is debunkers are there for a reason. We say we debunk our own stuff. We won't put it. We're on the average when we do a video. I mean an investigation. We're on the average at the very least 4 hours. We're there sometimes 5 hours. I think the longest
Sometimes longer.
8. I think was the longest we was there. So that's a lot of film to go through and edit it, and we take out the stuff that we debunk. Okay, there, we've had the REM pod going off and we had the flashlight going off, but no, the flashlight when we moved the vibration caused it to go off, or whatever the case.
Or a cat ball or something.
Cat ball, yeah. We walked.
Some of the cat balls are very sensitive, and even the sound of your voice from a hardwood table or floor, it can pick up the vibrations from your voice onto the floor, and it can make it go off. And we'll check to see if that's what made it go off.
We'll do several tests to see, hey, did we catch something, or could we have done it? And if we're even the slightest possibility that we think one of us has set that thing off, we take it out of the video. We take anything whatsoever we do not believe is essential or a good catch out of the video. EVPs, if there's too much contamination, like it's raining outside real hard, or the wind's blowing, or there's a lot of traffic, Crybaby Bridge. We had some good EVPs at Crybaby Bridge, but we had to throw that whole thing, anything that we caught out, because cars driving by, the water, the way the water was running real heavy underneath the bridge, just everything. There was no way that we could get a good clear EVP. So that's the whole point of paranormal investigators. They try to debunk, but right now the ball is in Cody and Satori's. Don't have the lady of the Conjuring house speak for you. Don't have anybody else speak for you. Stop bringing up Sam and Colby.
Why was Sam and Colby brought up in any of this when this has nothing to do with Sam and Colby, and they had to hashtag Sam and Colby at the end of their posts?
Yeah, if you look at that statement at the very end, they hashtag Sam and Colby. It has nothing to do with any of them whatsoever. I just still find it ironic that when Sam and Colby came out, they did not believe Cody and Satori, apparently. Now, I don't want to say something they didn't, but something had to have happened where Call Me Chris came out and said, yeah, they got duped. They got scammed. So something was said between them and Call Me Chris, but then all of a sudden, then they come back out right after that and say, wait a minute, they're legit, and everything they're doing is true. And it was after that little meeting that they had. So you want us to believe you, but then do something to prove us all wrong.
Yeah,
please.
the whole point of this video is us debunkers and paranormal enthusiasts want Cody and Satori, like, in front of every single one of us, to prove to us that it's real. If you don't want to be slandered, or if you don't want to be, made fun of
called
your entire
out,
life,
I wouldn't even say slander, I'd say called out.
If you don't want to be called out, if you don't want to be talked about behind your back, or people hating on you for some reason, then prove to us. Prove to us that you are real, because until you do that, until you are in your grave, people still won't believe you.
And that's what she brought. She says, well, it doesn't matter if I prove it or not, and people still aren't going to believe me. Well, whatever. At least you came out and you said, look, take your shoes off. If it was me and somebody said, hey, take your shoes off because I think you have something in your sock or you're doing something with your foot, guess what? Even if I'm a little bit embarrassed by my feet or whatever, my shoes and my socks are coming off, and I'm going to show that I'm not doing anything.
And we all know that it's Cody that needs to take his shoes off, not Satori. Satori, you can take your shoes off, you can put flip-flops on, you can do whatever the hell you want. We know it's not you, it's Cody, so he needs to put shorts on, he needs to take his socks off, and he needs to prove to us that it actually is your energy field that is the thing that's making the spirits come out of God fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is just come out and say, okay, guys, we're gonna do a whole video. We're gonna do it without shoes and socks on, especially Cody, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, or have somebody have Project Fear over again, because I'm positive they'll be honest with all of us. Have Beardo, have Mythos, have Bad to the Bone. Invite them over and say, okay, we're gonna do this for you. You can check everything about us right here in front of us. They'll be honest with you, with the viewing audience. They'll go there and they'll say if they saw something or if they didn't, and they'll tell us if they could debunk it or if they couldn't. They'll be honest with us. But for God's sake, do something to prove that you are legit. But all these videos that's out, you say one thing and we get videos or statements contradicting. Why would you be at a house and look at your partner that you have this special gift with and say, do you want me to do it on the carpet or should I do it on the hard floor? Which would work better? What, the spirits has a preference of carpeting or hardwood floor before they will?
And you would think that if you were able to prove it, you wouldn't be like, is that enough evidence for you? Or is that enough proof for you?
Yeah.
You would be like, isn't that incredible? Or, something else that was so, like...
I have to bring up, we love Twin Paranormal, so hashtag Twin Paranormal video. We do love you. Now,
you're adding more hashtags.
Well, we get in trouble sometimes on our videos. People say, well, you're talking too much and you can't hear anything. We go and we do our investigation, but we also joke around a little bit. Not too much where it's interfering with our investigation, and we do talk. When we talk to the spirits to see if we can get a reaction on our equipment, or
we're trying to understand what the spirits are saying
right.
or talking about, so we talk to each other about it to figure out what it might mean that they said.
But Twin Paranormal, they'll go on an investigation and they'll be doing all of their stuff, and they will joke around. They'll have their serious time, they'll have their fun time. But they are also ones, they go out of their way to debunk anything that they could. And that's what we admire about them. They are, have them go there and have Cody and Satori. I believe that they would be honest with us too. But they are another one that will definitely go out of the way. Okay, why isn't the flashlight working? Oh, you know what? Maybe we didn't turn it on or loosen up tight, enough, or why did that REM pod go off? Boy, it's going off, and it is going off to our questions, but it's acting a little strange. So they go over and reset it, and they kind of debunked, even though it could have been something coming through. They kind of automatically, okay, well, we're just going to think to us, that was probably nothing. It was just maybe the equipment was acting up or whatever. And then sure enough, as soon as they reset it and it started asking questions, it would respond again. But they definitely go out of their way to debunk. So,
the whole point of this video is that us paranormal investigators or debunkers, and there goes your clock again, we do anything in our power to prove that we're not frauds, that we are actually doing this because we want answers. We want to know if there is an afterlife, or if the afterlife is as glorious as some people make it out to be. Did some people make it to heaven? Is there a hell? All these questions that people have been asking for years and we haven't gotten straight answers to. We want to know those. But Cody and Satori, they are not giving us any proof or any evidence that anything that they are doing is actually true.
And like I said, it's easy. All they need to do is say, okay, we're going to invite anybody in the paranormal world, tune in. We're going to do a live. We're going to do a live shooting. We're going to have, I've been mentioning them a lot, hashtag Project Fear. any of them, Beardo, Mythos, Bad to the Bone, have them sitting right there while it's being taped so they can be on-site witnesses, but have like a live viewing, have your audience. So you're going to go through the roof, guys, have live audience, saying tune in at this time. It's going to be live with these special guests, and we're going to prove what we do is legit.
And it better not be like that Zoom meeting that you guys had and like freaking during COVID time where the lights flashing back and forth and there's voices over the thing that might have been some interference from somebody talking at the bottom.
That Zoom thing is out. No, we're not talking about that.
No, we're talking about like a straight on YouTube live for anyone in the world to see, but for special guests like paranormal investigators to go on, hear, and see the proof that you are legit.
And have somebody that's on there that's going to be honest. Like I said, Project Fear. Some of the questions that Dakota asked, and then, actually the whole crew, and then came out with the little snippet or video after that, kind of backed you in the corner, and you kind of didn't know how to get out of it when the proof was right there. But somebody like that, you seem to like your high caliber. Well, get Project Fear, get Beardo, get Mythos, get Bad to the Bone, get high caliber, get Exploring with Josh. Call him back again.
Get
him.
The original person who made all of this happen.
Yep. Get them and prove to all of us then that, hey, what you are doing. But Cody's going to have to, no shoes, no socks. Somebody's going to have a camera close up on his ankles, his toes, and see what happens. Let's go that route. Right now, the ball's in your court to prove what you're doing is legit. It's not for us to prove that that what we're doing, our goal is to debunk before we can come up with something legit. And nobody's threatening anybody. If anything, it seems almost like that's a threat to our community more than what our community is a threat to them.
Which is why we're making this video. We would not be making this video if we didn't see that post and we didn't think that it was threatening to our community, but that was a direct threat to
the whole community,
the entire paranormal investigating community.
And I got just one last thing here too, because I think we're about right in our time period that we want, which we thought it was going to be a shorter one, but with me and Gabrielle, it's never a shorter one.
It's never short.
But getting back to the whole money thing, I don't even know why that was ever even brought in, because this has nothing to do with money. It's kind of offensive to somebody like us that it's going to be a long while, if ever, we would have enough videos out and enough views and that to make any kind of money. So we're not doing it obviously for money. A lot of these other people are not doing it for money. That's our field. Our field is to get the evidence we can, but also to debunk whatever we can. That's our field. That's how paranormal investigators operate. And for money to even be brought into the picture, it doesn't make any sense other than if they're guilty and they are getting money somehow. And that's just, I'm not saying they are, but I mean, they obviously are getting paid from being employees at the Conjuring house, so they are getting money that way. But that should never even be an issue anyhow. So, but I don't know, is there anything more you want to touch on that subject?
Well, like I said before, if you want to prove that you are truthful and that this is an actual thing that is happening and that you guys do have this special ability, then prove it. Just prove it to every single one of us paranormal investigators that are trying to find answers.
That's all it's about. And I don't know if we'll do another Cody of Satori. We didn't really have this plan to do another one.
This should be the last one,
but
there's no promises because the more evidence that comes out, the more we're going to want to talk about it and let you guys know, keep you updated on this whole situation, because like I said before, it's hot. It's getting really hot, it's getting kind of annoying, and it's getting very frustrating for the paranormal community to have frauds in our community that are trying to cut us down.
The thing is since they are famous, since they do have a name attached, they should be representing all of us, especially somebody like us that aren't as well known as the other paranormal investigators out there. Like, we're trying to get a name out for ourselves little by little. We're starting to creep up there slowly. We appreciate all the views we do have, but when you have somebody with the name of Cody and Satori out there and they're representing the paranormal community, you would think that you would want to come out and do everything you can as honestly and legitimately as you can to represent and as a positive figure for the rest of the community. But when you're getting stuff like this coming out, and it's just, just as you think, okay, what else can come out now, and then they have to come out with this statement saying that they've been threatened and slandered and defamation of character and all this. Well, first of all, I hate to be redundant, but why isn't Cody and Satori making this statement? And why is the Conjuring house? Like, I'm confused on that, and if anybody has any thoughts on that, please do so. And you can do anything like that if you want. Tonight we still have that $10 gift card. Like I said again, it's not much. It's for Walmart. Do hashtag debunk and on this video, and the first person to do it will send it. We're still waiting for somebody that wants. Again, we know it's not much, but it's just a thank you and an appreciation gift for tuning into us. But like she said, I don't know if we're going to have another one, but it depends on what kind of new.
Yeah, this should be our last one, but there's no promises because of all this evidence that's coming out and more drama that apparently the Conjuring house owner is now trying to start with the entire paranormal investigation.
And it's offensive
community.
To all of us. So, they're talking about threats. Well, it's kind of, it's like threatening to the whole community that, we're not even allowed to do what we're supposed to do as paranormal investigators without something being said about it, because Cody and Satori can't just come out and say, hey, let me prove, we're going to prove to you that we're not fake. It's that simple. But I think that that's enough rambling on for now. As you know, we always end with a quote. With tonight, because of everything that we come out with, there's a quote by Oscar Wilde, and it says, "It is perfectly monstrous the way people go about nowadays saying things against one." I think he meant one another, but against one, behind one's back, that are absolutely and entirely true. So, on that note, tune in
and peace out.